Welcome to Beyond the Music, the podcast where we dive into the lives and stories of people who shaped the world of music. I am Karina.
And I am Lena. We're both classically trained singers, and this podcast is our chance to explore the fascinating intersections of music, history, and humanity.
In our previous episode, I discussed the Chevalier de Saint-Georges, and today we will be doing something a little different. We are pulling back the velvet curtain on opera to share the real, raw, and sometimes ridiculous sides of our lives on stage. From foot pain to false eyelashes, this is opera unfiltered. And I quickly want to mention, I consider the number 13 to be unlucky, so my superstition is really coming up.
Well, I don't really believe in superstitions. I think you have luck or bad luck, but I don't really think of a number as bad luck or so. I don't know. It's more like I more have fears of stuff, like forgetting my text, or if you have a text, not reading the words correctly. But I'm quite good now in improvising text while singing. In English and German, it even makes sense. In Italian, French, it at least sounds like the language. I think it doesn't make sense, but I think that's a nice skill to have because no one ever notices that I messed up.
Well, luckily, we are going to be delving together into this, and I think we should start at Deglamorizing opera.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a very interesting topic. So, especially what people think opera singers do versus what our days actually look like.
Exactly. I think the most people think like opera singers, they are, sleeping long and then standing up and just sound beautiful and having their sparkling dresses on and the whole day looking pretty.
Oh, that sounds magical.
Standing on stage every day. That's not it.
Unfortunately, no. I wish it was. I would love to get a nice morning just to sleep in. It would be great. But no, I mean, personally, for my day, I wake up early, I do stretches, I go to the gym, I exercise, I review my languages, I look at the music in detail. Yoga pants are my best friend when I'm not performing because they're just so comfortable. But then there's also this stereotype that singers always wear scarves.
Well, in the wintertime, it's quite true with me. I love wearing scarves. I do have a lot of them, but I normally just have like 2 or 3 which I wear regularly because they fit with everything I'm wearing and they're comfy. I also have one scarf which is more like a blanket, which is quite practical. If you're having a practice in a church and it's getting like a little bit cold, you just take your scarf off and put it around your shoulders. So it has 2 purposes.
Yes, we definitely have to think on our feet, especially multi-purpose items like a scarf being a blanket. When you work in these rehearsal halls, what has your experience been, Lena, working?
How exactly do you mean that? Like in just working as a singer, or?
Are they cold? Are they dusty?
Oh, okay. It depends. Like if you have a church job, in summer you're lucky because at least in Germany the churches are quite old. They have a lot, really thick walls, and it's nice and cool inside. Sadly, in the winter times, since it's a big hall, the churches don't want to spend that much money on heating. So if you have a rehearsal in winter times, you better be well prepared and have a lot of clothes on and scarves and tea with you, something to warm you up. Because also you're not singing all the time. Sometimes you have to sit a lot and listen to the choir or to the other singers, and you cannot run circles around and make noises. You just have to sit and be quiet. So, so you have to include that in your preparation for the room. But if you're, for example, I don't know, if I have a practice with a pianist, normally it's in a nice, okay room. It's not, if it's not in a church, where I work a lot with a pianist from the opera here, so we often meet in the opera. So they have, of course, nice rooms for practice. Well, they are not pretty rooms, but they are good for practice. And on rehearsal stages, it's normally okay. I mean, last year I was in the Bayreuth Opera Choir. The rehearsal stages there weren't that luxurious, because it's just like they had to get what they find in the little town of Bayreuth. So they were just big, normally halls where firms are storing their stuff, and they were cleared, and that was the rehearsal stage, and it was really warm in there. So yeah.
I mean, I definitely find as singers we have to adjust not only to the situation, but also to the area that we are singing in. If I am singing in a cold space, like the example you gave, a church in winter, you are not just cold externally. You get cold internally, because you have to breathe in that cold air in order to sing. So it does take a toll, but we are very strong ladies. Opera singers are some of the strongest people I know.
Yeah, and I also think for practices especially, the people always think like you're just standing on stage. But no, like you do spend a lot of time just waiting. If it's in a concert, maybe even less waiting. If you have, for example, like performing a song cycle, then you don't have to wait a lot, just to wait that the performance starts. But if it's like, if you're singing a mass, they're just, I don't know, Brahms' Requiem has just one aria for the soprano, and that's it. But you have to sit there the whole concert, and also the whole general practice, and I don't know how many practices are paid. But yeah. And in opera, for example, you have to wait so much, because you have to be there for when there's a performance day. You have to be there way earlier, just for. Sometimes they even have some like reminders before the performance again from the directors. Or the musical director. Also, you have to be there for your costume and makeup, and then wait till your role is on stage the first time. And sometimes your role is on stage in the first act, and then again in the third act, and you have to wait the whole act in between to go on stage again, and to maybe have to warm up again, and and be there and be ready, and don't miss your call. So you cannot really relax in between, because
that's the other thing. If your character isn't on stage for a long time, and you do not have space to keep your voice warm, your voice will cool down. So the first time you sing will be on stage. So we have to do these vocal exercises without making sound, because our voices are so large that if we do warm up, the sound could bleed, technically, onto the stage. So in the middle of, let's say, Tosca's Vici d'Arte, you hear this loud in the background.
Yeah, but I must say, in the most opera houses, that's not a problem. If it's a smaller space, of course, then they have normally specific areas where you can warm up in between again. But like in the bigger opera houses, there's no problem. They have enough isolation that they don't hear you on stage. Yeah.
But in our circumstance, we are heard no matter where we go. But you know, that's also a good point you brought up about you always have to stay on top of it. So what about the physical toll? Like, we have to be in shape. Our bodies are our voices. And they have to be so well aligned. That's why in the morning I go to the gym, I stretch, because if a muscle is too tense, it directly affects my voice. And even when you talk about the stamina it takes to sing these roles, stage combat, if a director asks you to sing while crawling, or wasn't it Joan Sutherland who was asked to fall down a flight of stairs while singing a high note?
I think yes.
We have to be in such good shape.
Yeah, you have, I mean, your body is your instrument in that case. And I cannot even imagine, there are so many singers who have allergies, like seasonal allergies, and I'm like, how do you even work?
It's just another thing we have to be aware of. And do you know the saying, it's not over till the fat lady sings?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that expression?
Yeah.
It is so not true, because we are not fat. We are very strong.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever sustained injuries while in a production?
Lucky me, no, I haven't.
How did you get away with it?
Well, being cautious. I'm more on the cautious side, so until I know the stage, I'm quite just cautious of my surroundings and don't try to fall down into the orchestra pit.
You see, that's why we're such good friends, because I more throw caution to the wind when I'm in a production. I can remember two situations. One was I was doing a concert. I was wearing a beautiful blue satin gown. And the first breath I took was so big. You know, when a singer's breath, just for our listeners, we not just breathe to the front of our rib cage, we breathe to the sides and to the back. So it's a 360 deep breath. I breathed in and I actually broke the zipper of my gown. So I had to sing the entire time with my elbows on my rib cage, holding my dress up. Mm-hmm. I was wearing a shawl, so luckily no one saw it, but you really have to think on your feet when these unexpected situations happen. And then another same thing with a corset this time. I was put into a rented costume, and the corset had, instead of the plastic staves that hold the corset shape, they were metal.
Oh.
Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. And it was an old costume. It was rented. It was well loved, well used too. And at the front, where you have that V that goes across your hips and down your front, I bent over and the metal poked out of the material and actually stabbed me a bit. And of course you're singing during this, so how do you do that? I had to adjust. I couldn't stay in that position that the director wanted me. I had to adjust in order to sing. So yeah, I think I get all the bad luck, you get all the good luck when it comes to costume.
Oh, well, yeah, I just had mishaps like having really this stressful costume changes without anyone helping you. So you are like stuck in your dress and you're like, damn it, I need to get that over my head. Damn, I have to go out. Damn. I had that.
But you can't say it. You have to be quiet because you're backstage.
Yeah. Or losing a shoe. because they don't
Oh,
fit
no.
well. Had that also.
Yeah. Oh, and what about vocal exhaustion? These rehearsal marathons, that's pretty much when I'm either in the rehearsals or I'm at home sleeping.
Yeah, and I remember when I did Dialogue de Carmelite in university, I was singing Blanche, and Blanche is on stage pretty much the whole time, except like 2 scenes or so. So I had a lot of rehearsals.
Ooh.
And in between the rehearsal periods, we had still lessons in the university. So my day started to, like, with the practices at, I don't know, 9:30 or 10. So I had to be there at 9:30. So I left the house at, I don't know, 8:30, to be there on time to maybe warm up a little and be there. And I left. Then I came back home at also about, I don't know, it was about 10 or 10:30. So it were long days, and only the Sundays were free, and the Saturdays were half days. And then you're like, also, the people say you have to do this and have to practice that and remember that. And I just came back home and I was just like, when? I need to sleep.
So it's safe to say we may be fit, but we're not superhuman.
Yeah, because I was like, the weekends were the only times where I could kind of redo and practice what we did the whole week, because I had practice every morning, every evening, and in between I had lessons in university, in the conservatory. So I had maybe could do some of the stuff in the lessons in the conservatory, but not everything. And well, I cannot clone myself, so there were no weekends, let's say it like this.
No, we're always busy. We're always doing something. And it's nice because it does keep us going. It keeps us. But on the other side, it's hard to find the time to just relax and turn off. And also to look after not only our bodies, our physical health, but also our vocal health. Yeah. I mean, when you have these long rehearsals, do you do anything different than when you're in a regular production?
Actually, no. I may not sing full voice, but I do sing normally in the right octave, but just like in a piano quality. So I mark my singing, but also not always, because I sometimes do really need to feel it in the full body while I have the movement, to really connect that. And I have the luck that my voice excuses a lot and does not get tired that fast. So, and especially when I have like, if there's like a stage rehearsal, because funny enough, since there's so much movement on stage, my voice works better. Because it's automatically, my body works more because it has to move.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that because each singer is different, our bodies are also different. So we have these steps that we take in order to get to the performance. Singing full, getting it into your body, absolutely. Other people may not need to have that, and it's just automatically in their body. So every person has their own things that they need to do.
Yeah, but I think mostly it's like what I noticed in university, that a lot of singers, especially young singers, don't know how to mark. So they get exhausted because their technique isn't that well yet, or their voice does not excuse stuff that easily. and they singing like fully the whole time and getting tired and getting vocally tired, and they don't know how to mark. And that's a skill which is quite important to have, because you don't need to sing fully the whole time.
No,
you maybe need to do that when the scene is staged, and everyone knows what to do. Then it can be helpful, so you can then work on now, get that connected with the voice. But there are also singers who never sing full out until the first performance. Which is, I heard a lot of my friends are like the assistants of the directors. They are all musicologists, and they telling me stories about singers who are now in the general practice still not singing fully. So, and it's still some high notes don't work since it's and they say it's marked. That's why, and they are like sitting on the edge of their seats because they're like, will it work when there's the performance? Will it work? Why did we cast that person? So to get the directors relaxed and the music and the conductors relaxed, just sing out once, so they know you can do it.
Well, I think singers, not only do we have to know our bodies and ourselves mentally so well, but we have to be extremely smart, because we need to know, okay, the voice isn't feeling good today. This is what I do instead. You always have, your voice and yourself so well that you can cope in any circumstance.
Yeah. And there are some people who need to have their Coke before a performance because they have the feeling that the voice works better, and some people who are like, I cannot eat spicy food because my voice won't work, or drink milk or whatever. I never noticed anything of that. I just eat and drink whatever I want. Maybe no alcohol. I notice that on my voice. Also, I notice if someone standing right beside me and is smoking.
Oh, no.
This is also something which I notice on my voice, even if I'm not the one smoking. But other than that, I eat chocolate before performances and never had a problem. So I don't know.
So chocolate is kind of like your superstition before you sing. You have to do it before.
No. I don't do it regularly, but there are a lot of singers who are like, I cannot eat chocolate before I sing because there's so much slime going on then and I cannot sing then. And I'm like, well, no, it's delicious. I just eat it and I don't notice anything changing. Maybe drink some water afterwards, so your partner doesn't get all the chocolate senses in his face. But other than that,
yeah, I definitely think if you are doing partner work, just out of courtesy for your partner, don't eat garlic. Even if that's your thing, please don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
We get very close.
But, okay, no. You have to know what kind of digestion system you have. Because there are people who eat a lot of garlic and never smell like it. I do eat in pretty much every meal I eat garlic. No one said to me, I smell like garlic. And I ask. But there are people who don't even eat garlic. They just eat, I don't know, something else with a little bit of spices in them. And you can smell every ingredient. So I think it depends on your digestion and your if your body is able to really close up your stomach or not.
So definitely knowing your body inside and out so well. It's fascinating the things that singers have to know.
Yeah.
And even then, we even have to prepare for ridiculous on-stage mishaps that do happen. I mean, they do happen. Have you ever had something like that?
I mean, I had a partner of mine in the scene. It's like from a children's opera. He is a robber, like the old ones who are living in the woods, you know. And I have to steal his pants.
Okay.
So I throw some money in front of me, so he is distracted and singing while I do that and everything. There's like a chest with money in it and everything. He's distracted. Well, and normally the role of him has a boxer shirts under it with a green boxer shirts with a lot of like forest pictures on it and everything, you know. So you just have to open one button and the pants will fall down and you see the boxes, and under the boxes he normally has his normal underwear. Well,
oh god,
he put on the boxes in the scene before already under his normal, like his jeans he is wearing there, and while he changed, he put off the boxes with that, and then when he had to change into the other costume, he was searching for those boxes and just didn't find them. And so he had his normal, like, tight underwear on. And
oh god,
you can imagine me, like, opening the button, everything, the pants go down, and I just see the butt. Like, it's still covered, but it's, like, not what I expected. It's not what I expected, and I could not hold back my laugh the whole time. I had to laugh a little bit. The children didn't notice even.
Yeah.
But still, I was like, God damn it. Why? Because I still had to sing. And
well,
yes. I was laughing. Side.
So yes, opera singing is not glamorous.
No.
We get the things we get into. But it's wonderful because you meet such wonderful people that you get to work with.
Yeah.
And you just have these amazing stories afterwards. And I think what really cut that. I think what really shows the best side of opera is when you have those moments and you have such wonderful colleagues who support you through it.
Yeah. I mean, you need this support system, not just inside the opera, but especially outside. You need people around, you need a support system, you need people who are on your side when you have not the glamorous times, but the bad times, which are mostly the norm, especially in the beginning of a career. Like, there are some people who have luck from university, they get into an opera studio or whatever, and then their career takes off, or they win a bigger competition and have luck. But it's not the usual case. A lot of young singers especially struggle a lot until they find their place and know what to do with them. And a lot of people also say, I don't want to go into opera anymore, which is fine, but you have to the step to decide that for yourself, and you have to have the support system. Do not lose yourself in that period, because the most of the time it is not glamorous. You have to audition, you have to spend a lot of money, and don't get a lot of money back. There's just a few famous opera singers who get paid huge salaries. And the normal opera singer who is not, I don't know, Thomas Kaufmann or whatever, is not paid that well. If you are good in the business, you can live from it. But not as well as those, like, 4 or 5 Joyce DiDonatos or whatever. Yeah, so you have to know that you have to have normally a well financial background, to have parents who can support you financially, or you yourself have a side hustle which makes enough money to support yourself financially.
Mm-hmm.
But also you need people who support you in your decisions and who are, like, cheering you on, and because otherwise after a failed audition you will fall into that black hole. And after a lot of those failed auditions, and there's a saying that you only get accepted once every 10 auditions, which is true for some. For some, it's less than once every 10 auditions. Maybe it's once every 30 auditions.
Yeah.
For some, it's more. If you're a tenor, it's probably more. If you're a soprano, it's probably less. So you have to cope with this rejection.
Yeah, it's my experience after an audition and I don't get the job. I am so lucky to have wonderful people in my life who will pretty much just be on the phone while I cry my eyes out. I get it, including you, Lena. I mean, I've called you and just started crying. So it's really important to have a support system around you. Like, opera is glamorous. There's no question about it. But it's also important that what you see on the stage, there's also a backstage, the not so glorious or glamorous part.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, at the moment I'm at a time of my career where I'm mostly teaching, doing a concert here and there, and doing some children opera here and there, but at the moment I'm not actively auditioning because I'm quite happy to keep the money I earned and not spend it on auditions where I will be told again, you have a great voice, but you don't have the stage experience for the roles you would sing with that voice. Or you have a great voice, but our theater is too small, and we just, for the roles you would sing, we would cast someone more famous. And I don't need to have that at the moment. I'm quite happy with teaching. I love teaching, and doing some music here and there, and just living my life without worrying about every penny, because you have to spend it on competitions or auditions, and of course your voice lessons and preparation for those competitions and auditions, and video recordings for those. That's like, at the moment I'm quite satisfied with that. And I don't know if it will come again, the urge that I want to do auditions again or a competition here and there. But then it probably will just be like, when I really want to do it, then I'm doing it. But I don't do everything which comes around just to hope. No?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely is when you have a dramatic voice, unfortunately, if you're very lucky, your voice comes together very quickly. Most people, it takes maybe until your mid-30s for the voice to develop, to settle, to mature, and to be strong enough, to the body to have the stamina to do the roles that we do. Unfortunately, before then, we really can't do the typical younger voiced operas because our voices are too big. They just don't fit in. Then you could also look into young artist programs, which are absolutely fabulous opportunities. But again, they don't often do Wagner operas, for example, because they're very big. They need a lot of large voices. And there's just not a lot of us out there. We're very rare. So, but then they also have age limits on these young artist programs, but they're around age 30. So by the time our voices develop, unfortunately, we can't go the young artist route because we're past the age limit. So it's really hard to get the right stage experience for the voices we have.
Yeah, but on the other hand, it's also like, if you have a lighter voice, you maybe have it easier to come in through young artist programs. But especially as a woman, there are a lot of them. If you're not a mezzo, you will struggle. As a mezzo, you have it a little bit easier to get into a young artist program, but still not that easy because there's still a lot of them. even especially when you're like a lighter mezzo who sings a great like Cherubino, like there are a lot of them who sing that, or sesto or whatever, and I know a lot of singers who studied at the same time with me, who just now, like a few years after they finished their studies, are starting to really get into business and have success as a lighter soprano who sings a Queen of the Night or whatever. And then they have the struggle again when they turn, I don't know, 30, 35. Then they're again sometimes too old for the roles. Their voice is at home, so they have to think about maybe getting pregnant, getting a child, hoping to change your voice type through that, but it does not have to be, or finding your spot, having maybe a fixed spot in the theater, or going to the choir. That's the other way around. As a heavier voice type, you can work longer, but getting in is the problem. As a lighter voice type, there are way more people who have your voice type, and the roles you play are normally younger persons in the opera too. So when you are getting too old, optically, for that role, that can be a problem. As a man, you always have it easier.
Yeah, opera is it's interesting. We all have our own challenges.
Exactly, and you have more male roles in operas. So you have less male singers who are studying to become an opera singer, but more roles for them. So of course they have it easier.
Well, I just hope that in this episode that we have pulled the beautiful velvet curtain off of the stage and have been able to give a bit of an insight as to the backstage of the opera world.
Exactly. If you are wanting to become an opera singer, inform yourself before about what you are getting into. Because if you're not really passionate about singing opera and about singing those roles, just get another job. Really, it is like that. If you don't have the passion to accept that you have to struggle a lot to even be able to live on your singing, if you don't have the passion for that, to accept like all those negative parts for the one thing, maybe it's not the job for you. And that's hard, but I think it's needed to be said, because there are a lot of young singers who are really facing hard times then because they didn't think of that part.
Definitely the education aspect of music has to be better presented.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Pulling Back the Opera Curtain as much as we did. If you like this episode, please don't forget to subscribe and leave a review.
And next time we'll maybe delve into a little bit more funny topic, because it kind of ended a little bit on a harder note, but it's important. And I hope next time we have a little bit more positive and fascinating chapter of music history.
For all of our listeners, if you meet an opera singer, please give us hugs. Just give us hugs.
Exactly. Give us hugs. And then
give us hugs, give us love.
Give us love, and don't ask if we sing for free.
Please no.
Please no. Well, next time we'll delve into another fascinating chapter of music history. Until then, keep listening and discovering the stories beyond the music.
See you next time.